Hi guys, my name is Greg Constable. I'm the Client Services Manager here at the Groupon Reach Network. And today I'm going to be going through with you guys how to develop your voucher code strategy. So how best to work with voucher code affiliates, publishers to kind of maximize your affiliate program. Just a quick bit of background on myself. So I'm the Client Services Manager at Groupon. So my job entails kind of working closely with various merchants across kind of varying verticals to really maximize their program. So we do a lot of kind of competitor analysis, kind of a lot of in terms of kind of benchmarking, etc. Just to kind of see where we can tweak their affiliate program and make sure that they're capitalizing on every opportunity in the channel. I've been at Groupon for probably about 3 years, coming up to 3 years now. And previous to Groupon, I was at AWIN. So I was at AWIN for almost 4 years, where I worked across numerous brands such as BT, Tesco, House of Fraser, Sports Direct, etc. So yeah, that's who I am. And I will now work on the slides here. And showcase the best way to work with a voucher code affiliate. So the first slide is just the content of what I'm going to be going through. So initially, I'm going to talk to you about why should you discount. Then I'm going to discuss kind of tapping into the kind of consumer subconscious, why you should discount and how that then affects consumers. Once they kind of see your discounts, etc., how to tap into these subconscious behaviors. And then kind of once we've gone through that, I'll kind of take you through the content that you should be delivering in the channel, which publishers you shouldn't be working with, your negotiating toolkit, which elements of an affiliate program you've got with the ball in your court that you can speak to publishers and negotiate kind of the best deal for you. We're going to touch on voucher code leakage. I'll go into more detail then if you've never heard of it. How to make yourself stand out as an advertiser. Working with some of the larger publishers like Groupon and some of our competitors. How to execute the perfect campaign. So that's all encompassing the pre-campaign checklist. Executing the actual campaign, and then kind of touching on pain and performance, whereas things like we don't feel that you should limit yourselves because you're paying on performance. You should really just kind of strive to drive as many sales as possible, and then finally kind of ending with a post-campaign checklist on having a look back over the week, 2 weeks, month, however long the campaign run for. You should definitely have a checklist thereafter to be able to tweak and then move on. Move your affiliate program forward to make sure that you're making the most of these campaigns that you run. And then final point is looking at some seasonality and when you should run a campaign, when you shouldn't, when you should take a step back, when you should kind of be the market leader. And then the final slide is a few key takeaways. So initially starting with why you should discount. So Groupon we run a poll, I think this was about a year ago, a sample size of 2,000 people surveyed. 62% of these would be likely or very likely to make a spontaneous purchase if offered a voucher code or discount. So the key word in here for me is kind of that spontaneity. The spontaneous purchase is they weren't necessarily going to buy anyway, but they see a discount and it actually triggers them to go and buy. And well over kind of half the people were likely to do this. And not only that, we also asked them a question in terms of discount codes. And at least 1 in 5, 67% of people who actually use discount codes for at least 1 in 5 purchases said not actually having a code in the market would make them shop elsewhere. So discount codes are actually making these users convert as well. And if they're not converting with you, with the whole kind of pandemic that we've gone through at the moment, there's definitely an element of a more savvy saver, a more savvy shopper. And they're going to be looking around not just at 1 or 2 one or two merchants, they're going to be going to sort of 5 or 6 to make sure they're getting the best deal and the most for their money as well. So tapping into the consumer subconscious. So there's a few words here that obviously you might be familiar with, but it's very much like that scarcity tactic and FOMO. You know, fundamentally, it is all about the same thing. You know, if it's hard to get, it must be worth something. So if you've got exclusivity, if you've got something like a 10% discount code running for sort of 3 or 4 days, then the FOMO on that is going to be pretty strong if they feel that they're going to miss out on getting that discount. So yeah, it is essentially putting your offers or your discounts in front of the user to make sure they're going to want to use that. You can do this by kind of many principles and messaging that I'll go through in my later slides. But yeah, people attach more value to things that are in few quantities. So you could even do things like, you know, 1,000, 2,000 codes, and, you know, once they've been used, there's no more left. So it is that kind of subconscious that they need to use it now rather than wait. There is a short video that I'm hoping is going to work first and foremost. It's quite old school. I mean, you can see VHS here, VHSs of Disney, but it kind of comes across, it brings a message in across perfectly in a very short video. So I'll play this now and hopefully it works. And it hasn't worked. So yeah, there you have it. The Disney used kind of the Disney Vault that all the that these films are going to go into. So yeah, essentially you had to get them before they went into the Disney Vault. So it's that whole kind of scarcity, FOMO, you know, get it while you can. And I guess the question you're probably asking yourselves is, you know, how do you tap into these behaviours? So there's a few ways how you can do this. So I've put 4 down here. So exclusive content that I touched on very briefly in the slide previously. Exclusive content is giving an affiliate an exclusive offer or code that they can put out to their users, put in front of their users that the user can only get from that affiliate. This works fantastically in, first and foremost, actually securing the best exposure with certain affiliates. You know, as Groupon, we want to serve our users the very best offers. So our newsletter databases across VoucherCloud and across Groupon of almost 10 million people, 10 million users, we want to give them the best offers. So having exclusive content is something that, you know, you can tap into these behaviors. A limited number of codes, again, I touched on this very briefly in a previous slide, but having a limited number of codes, not only does it protect your margins and makes, you know, it kind of helps a code not go viral and it kind of limits how many people can actually buy from you, but it also kind of has that call to action. So as soon as people see the offer, they realize there's only 1,000, 2,000 codes available. So yeah, so they're, you know, very, very quick in terms of purchasing. So you can see in this Just Eat screenshot, if you look at kind of the last sort of 5 or 6 words here in the script, it says there's only a limited number of codes available. So, you know, a lot of people are going to click the get offer button and make sure that they purchase that. Limited time. Exactly what it says on the tin. So if you do it kind of for a shorter period, you're definitely going to have that more urgency and that call to action again, that people are going to strive to want this offer, and just urgency in the messaging. So that probably sits more with the affiliate, and we will talk to the merchant, talk to you guys essentially about how you would like us to word it. But you can see from the screenshot, the phone screenshot on the right hand side, that River Island had 20% off orders. So we actually served this users to people walking past, people with the VoucherCloud app walking past the River Island store. We actually served this offer to them, and, you know, having, you know, 20% off orders today, that's kind of an urgency in a messaging. So I guess then you're wondering kind of what content you should put out there. So my 5 main suggestions are all on the slide here, and it kind of varies in terms of what results you are looking for. So I'll go through them all one by one, and I'll kind of give you an idea of how they're going to work best for you and how effective they can be. So site-wide discount, so your classic 10% off everything, that is going to perform the best due to its availability. Everyone can use it. You don't have to kind of be a new customer. You don't have to kind of spend a certain amount of money that that is available for everyone to use, and that is pretty much going to be your strongest offer out there. If you're looking for sort of maybe a more quality offer where people are spending more and looking to increase your AOV, so your average order value, spend and save discounts are fantastic. So you can actually offer probably a higher percentage discount than the 10% off everything that I just went through. But if you apply kind of like a 50, 60, 70 pounds minimum spend to this, this is going to help increase your average order value, and typically a better quality of customer, because they're spending more, they're kind of getting more products at a higher price, but then they're going to see the quality of your products and then hopefully shop again. I would, in terms of putting the minimum spend on this, you would tend to look at your average order value. So if I was a fashion merchant and my average order value was around kind of 42, 43 pounds, I would then probably set it at around 50, 55 pounds. So you know that your average order value is going to be sort of up to £10 more on every single order than what you're currently getting. Affiliate exclusive codes and offers. So what I would suggest, if I take off my Groupon hat and put myself in a merchant's shoes, I would give certain affiliates different codes, or even the same code at different times. You can just test and learn with certain affiliates that there will be some affiliate databases that actually work better with your brand than some other affiliates, but you don't know unless you try. So yeah, testing different affiliates with an affiliate exclusive code, like a 10% off or a 15% off orders over £50. As I mentioned, do not do them at the same time, because they're just going to cannibalize each other. So I would probably look throughout the quarter, maybe run sort of one each month with 3 different affiliates, maybe for sort of 7 or 10 days each month. 4, we've got some sale messaging. So and a high percentage discount is always going to be very eye-catching to the consumer. So having looked at this, kind of if you've got a up to 50% off sale, which seems to be the more kind of generic kind of sale messaging, you can definitely use that and put that into affiliate newsletters and things like that. That is going to gain a lot of clicks and a lot of interest. And then it's kind of, I guess, down to the merchant to have the quality products at a very good price on the landing page, on the sale landing page, to actually convert these users. And better still, you can even, the further down the line you get in your sale, I know that some brands go up to kind of up to 60, up to 70% off. So these are going to gain even more traction and even more clicks. And then I guess, as I mentioned earlier, choosing your content is completely down to you and what your KPIs are and what your focuses are, but you can also just target new customers. Since this is a lot more niche than kind of your site-wide codes, but you can actually incentivize new users to shop with you. So you can give an affiliate, 10, 15, 20% off code just for new customers only. So existing customers actually can't use this. And what merchants tend to do, what brands tend to do is, with these new customer codes, you can actually offer a bit more of a discount rather than the 10% I mentioned earlier. If you give them 20% off, it's just much more enticing for them to shop with you. And as they're a new customer and you're hoping for repeat business, offering 20% off just for that first purchase doesn't seem to break the bank too much, and it does fit nicely into budgets. In terms of choosing your publishers, so I've put a few questions down here that you probably need to ask yourself before you kind of start working with certain publishers. So you might have some certain brand guidelines that you want to work with certain affiliates that kind of fit within these. So yeah, how does your brand and products fit with the publisher? If it's not great and you feel that it's the publisher is just really kind of, it just showcases very too discount heavy and you kind of see yourself as more of a premium brand, then that's obviously not a right fit. But yeah, it's the type of you need on the program, the type of publishers that you kind of feel that you feel that you want to work with. And also there's an element of kind of how many publishers do you want to work with. For me personally, if I was at a merchant, I probably wouldn't necessarily restrict myself to working with an X amount of publishers. I would definitely, provided that the publisher fits in with my brand and brand guidelines and how I want my brand to be perceived, I would definitely kind of offer the opportunity for as many affiliates as possible to actually promote my brand. And then kind of my recommendations thereafter, kind of once you've found these publishers to work with, you can definitely find niche ones that again do align with exactly what you're looking for. So again, if you're a fashion merchant and you're looking for some really nice content affiliates to post about certain product launches and things like that, that's perfect. That's more of a niche publisher which works perfectly with your brand. But again, I wouldn't ring fence yourself. There are loads of affiliates out there who can definitely push your brand and drive loads of sales. Probably 3 of the main partners that you can work with: voucher code websites such as Groupon, your content publishers, and also cashback partners as well. So my recommendations is definitely work across all 3 of those publisher types. And then with those, what you can do is you can actually drill down performance thereafter. So it leads nicely onto the kind of the next point. What I would do is run a program or a promotion for sort of a month or so's time across your program. Let as many publishers pick it up as possible and push it. And then what you can do thereafter is actually use the AWIN interface to pull a publisher performance report. And then you can then start to drill down and focus on your top 5, top 20 publishers. You have the ability to kind of look at what percentage new customers they're driving, what average order value is coming from each different publisher. So if you're really looking to drive a lot more kind of a higher ticket purchase, then you can start working more closely with those publishers that are actually driving a higher average order value across the whole program. In terms of your negotiating toolkit, this is great for you because you've got the ability to offer exclusive content or codes, and then you can say to the publisher, look, this is exclusive to you. What can you give me in return for this exclusive offer or exclusive content I'm giving you? And then you can make the publishers work to kind of give you a list of exposure they're willing to give you for that exclusive content. Your commission rate, so your base commission rate should always kind of be a bit of a lower rate than what you can actually afford at kind of the top end. And then this allows you to increase those commission rates to secure exposure with affiliates. The code and offer durations, you can either do a burst of sort of about 3 or 4 days. If it's a particularly strong offer and you don't want it kind of running for too long and you just really want a small, like I said, a short burst just to drive that volume, you can have that, or you can actually run probably a lesser code / offer for maybe a longer period of time, sort of 2 weeks. So you give that 2 weeks gives the affiliate more time to get more eyes on the offer. PPC rights, something you might not have heard of or come across. Something that we can do as a voucher code website is you probably have kind of your own PPC campaign set up kind of on your brands. When people are searching for that, you're at the top of Google. But what as Groupon, what we can do as publisher is actually negative match against that brand, but set up a campaign on a brand plus voucher code. So if someone is looking for, I don't know, let's try Sports Direct voucher code, Groupon would actually appear at the top. If you've got a really strong offer live and you want people to use that, that's where we would be, and you can actually give us the go ahead to kind of bid on those terms. But again, we would negative match against the brands that we wouldn't appear if someone's just searching for your brand. So we're not actually cannibalizing your direct traffic. And fixed fees / tenancies, this is something that every affiliate pretty much requires to kind of go into the more premium placements of newsletters, email sends. You're talking kind of millions and millions of users that kind of get sent these offers, and that usually requires a tenancy placement if you want after positions. So something I mentioned earlier was voucher code leakage, and what you can do to kind of stop this is initially check your AWIN advertiser terms and make sure they're fully updated. So affiliates are clear that that they can't just pick up any code they see out there. They have to kind of only promote the code that you communicate to them from either your account manager at AWIN or from the AWIN user interface. They are the only codes that they can push. In terms of like the code going viral, if it does get picked up by loads of affiliates and you're worried that it's just going to kind of blow your budget, you can actually apply a 0% commission on these codes for every affiliate other than the affiliate that you've actually given an exclusive code to. So although affiliates will be driving sales, you'll be paying them a 0% commission, which is a win-win for yourselves. And yeah, if there's kind of any issues with affiliates picking up a code and you really want them to take it down, you've got in touch with them, but they're not compliant, you can definitely just lean on the AWIN team to help if these affiliates are not responding and being very frustrating. And I guess in terms of how you can stand out as an advertiser, I think I'm quite old school in the sense of just pick up the phone. Yeah, having a conversation, just that initial sort of 15, 20 minute, half an hour maybe conversation with an affiliate they're going to work with. You know, you want them to know about your brand, you want them to understand your focuses and what you want from your affiliate program. Pick up the phone, have a conversation with them, kind of put that voice to a name, and you get so much more done over the phone rather than a kind of a long email thread. And it lends itself nicely to kind of the next point of building relationships. So unfortunately, we're in lockdown at the moment, which is quite frustrating. But once this eases, coming into kind of May, June time, you can definitely attend loads of events. I know that AWIN put on loads of events, and there are performance marketing awards, there's wider affiliate industry events, and I would definitely recommend going to these so you can put faces to names to the affiliates that you've been working with, but also just meet brand new affiliates as well and start building those relationships. And I think kind of everyone knows that kind of once you've got a solid foundation of relationships within the industry, it just makes working together so much more easier. Running competitions is something that I haven't touched on just yet, but I will do now. And what this allows you to do is actually secure exposure without having to offer like an exclusive discount or a ridiculous sale message of like up to 60, up to 70% off if you're very wary of doing that. What you can do is run a competition with numerous affiliates can actually do this. And then you can offer, I don't know, a prize, say £250 gift card, things like that for, one of the users who ends up winning the competition via the affiliate. They can actually then just come to your merchant page and actually just use that. And then what you would do with this £250 or whatever reward or prize that you offer to give away, they will actually put this on their social channels, in their newsletters, things like that. So it's just another way of working with them and reaching their audience rather than having to heavily discount your or having to discount at all. And I guess being brave, it's performance marketing. You're only really paying on performance unless it's a tenancy. So be brave. You've come into this channel to earn money, and I think kind of you're gonna have to invest some money to make sure that you work out which affiliates work for you, which affiliate's going to drive the most revenue, the most sales, the most clicks, etc. And it's all dependent on your actual KPIs of what you want. So invest well, invest smartly once you've had a conversation with these affiliates, and make sure you're looking at performance thereafter, which I'll come on to shortly. Working with larger publishers, so working with the likes of Groupon and our main competitors, and some cashback websites and some content affiliates as well. And how do you get the best out of them? So pretty much every publisher on your program should have a media pack and a rate card for placements. So the media pack will showcase everything that the affiliate can do for you in terms of placements, newsletters, social competitions, PPC that I mentioned earlier. These should all be in the media pack, and there'll be a rate card and a price attached to these. What you can then do, you can take that media pack, take that rate card, have a look through it, and then you can also pick up the phone, negotiate with the publisher. You can utilize increasing your CPA rates that I mentioned earlier, or you can look to do hybrid options, which are CPA increase and a lower tenancy cost, or vice versa. But yeah, it's essentially speaking to large publishers, getting their media pack and their rate card, having a look through of what you want, and then just picking up the phone and negotiating with them for the placements. So once you've got all of this, how do you execute the perfect campaign? So personally, I feel that you should have a pre-campaign checklist. So once you've kind of read through the publisher media pack, decided on the placements, etc., you're then going to kind of go ahead with it. What you want from the publisher is for them to confirm all of the placement dates, get them on email so you know what's going live and when it's going live, so you can be on the ball 9:01 with your coffee, making sure these have all gone live accordingly. Make sure that pre-campaign that you have given the publisher all of the different creatives and sizes that they require. So different placements like the MPU on a certain category page, or the kind of a banner placement, or a newsletter placement. These will all require, more often than not, different creatives and different sizes. So make sure that you have this conversation with the affiliate and you've supplied them with everything they need. If it's a voucher code that you're going live with, please make sure that you've checked it on your back end, on your kind of merchant advertiser website, that actually works before giving it to the voucher code website or voucher code affiliate, because I've actually had it before where we've gone live with a code and it went out in a newsletter, and there are hundreds of people complaining that the code isn't working, and that's just going to affect conversion rate, and nobody wants that. And I feel that this is something which is massively forgotten about, but just sharing any performance targets that you have with the publisher. So you'll have an idea of, I'm going to give X code to an affiliate, and then I want X amount of revenue to come back. So that's all well and good if you know, the merchant, the advertiser, if you guys, if you know what you want to make, but it's tough for the publisher to kind of put something live and then just hope that it does well over the week. If you share these targets with the publisher, you can then check on it sort of 2 or 3 days into a 7 or 10 day promotional period. And then if you're not performing at your daily run rate, then you can have a conversation at how you're going to tweak it to make sure that you then end up hitting your targets. And then the final point is just check a day or two before the campaign goes live. Have a quick call. Just say, look, have you got everything you need? Have you got the creative? You've got the voucher code that's actually going to work? Have a check-in, and then it'll go live a couple of days later. And just remember, I touched on this earlier, but you know, you're paying on performance. I wouldn't necessarily cap your budgets there. I touched on kind of voucher codes going live viral, but if you know, some people might not want that, some merchants might not want to do that. But if I'm in a merchant's shoes, and let's say if I'm only paying commission to the publisher that has got the exclusive code, if it does go viral and it does go onto other affiliate websites, I mean, you know, if one of your KPIs is revenue, then that's going to work perfectly for you. So yeah, I wouldn't necessarily kind of switch off anything unless absolutely necessary. And something I touched on in the previous slide, just use those relationships to bargain for more exposure. If the campaign is not performing well, sort of 2, 3, 4 days into a 7 or 10 day campaign, give them a call, say, look, this doesn't seem to be working. Is there anything more you can do? And more often than not, there's something last minute that an affiliate should be able to do for you, just to give those sales a bit of a boost. And yeah, share your goals and targets is something I touched on earlier. Post-campaign. So once the campaign's ended, you should definitely just take some time out of your day just to kind of look at the breakdown of the campaign performance. And then, yeah, look at your individual KPIs and how this performed versus those KPI targets that you had. Look at month on month and week on week performance, week on week growth, just to deem it a success or a failure. But what I would bear in mind is point 2 here. Once you kind of going over the stats, make sure you take into account some of the external influences that kind of could deem it a success or failure. So things like payday, for instance, if you run a voucher code campaign the week after the week of payday, bearing in mind a lot of people are going to be spending a lot more money during that week of payday. So running it the week after, you might not see that week on week uplift that you like to see. So yeah, so bear that in mind, as well as kind of competitor activity. So it's happened many, many times, and it will do in the future, that you'll put a 10% discount site-wide exclusive code with an affiliate. Fantastic. It's a really strong offer, and you send it out. Give it to them for a week of payday, say, so you think it's going to do amazingly well, but then your competitors actually offered a 20% discount, and that might even coincide with the same newsletter. So just bearing in mind, competitor activity could definitely have a bearing on a success or failure of a campaign. Have a follow-up call with the publisher. You can discuss it in a lot more detail. They naturally would be doing their own analysis their end as well, and then just adjust it where necessary. And then go again, sort of tweak it, find out when is the next best time to run this, and then just go again. Trial and error is always the best way to grow an affiliate program, and then you'll get to a point where you know what works for you with which affiliates, and it's the perfect place to be. And I guess one of my final points is when you should run a campaign. So we're in Q1 at the moment, so taking a look back to Q4 last year, we as Groupon, we put something similar like this to our in our media packs, so the merchants know when we're going to be seeing high traffic volume. So this is essentially our performance over time. It's the traffic coming through to our websites. So you can see the main standout is your Black Friday payday, which landed, I believe, on the Friday the 27th of November last year, which is absolutely huge. You can see that is a huge spike there. And then you can notably see that Christmas Day in the purple on the right-hand side is actually a very low day in terms of traffic. People with their families, they're eating loads of food, they're having a few drinks, so they're not necessarily on their laptops buying. However, if you look at the next day when things have calmed down slightly, Boxing Day, we see a huge spike. Maybe people have got new phones or new laptops or new tablets that they're kind of setting up and started using on Boxing Day, plus the sales going live. So that is kind of where we see kind of a huge traffic spike as well. So I'm very much on the side of looking at a lot of data and a lot of data analysis, and data like this from the publishers who you're speaking to should be able to determine when you should run campaigns and when you should take a back seat. Naturally, the week of payday is always going to be huge for you, and kind of the week before leading up to payday isn't going to be as huge, but data which is on the screen is something you can get from these publishers. And again, it varies seasonal as well, very much based on seasonality. So again, those conversations, the relationships you're having and the phone calls you're having will definitely be part of the conversations that you should discuss when you should run a campaign. And the key takeaways, so I've gone through quite a few slides here, but I'll just give you kind of my 5 main takeaways from this presentation. So I would say test and learn different offers, test different offers, test different budgets, and different publishers as well. So you've got cashback, content discount, and numerous other publisher types that you can work with. And it's completely down to you and your brand of which publishers you want to work with, and how you want to split your budget between these publishers. And again, it's a test and learn. So once you've tried something, analyze and then just tweak it and go again. Planning strategically is huge, in my opinion. So you've got to kind of plan these around your other on-site promotions and kind of key times of the year. There's no point releasing a 10% exclusive code with Groupon, for instance, if you've also got a 60% discount on site, because one, more often than not, you can't use them in conjunction with each other. And secondly, it's just a confusing message. So you've got to make sure that you plan strategically, and what I mentioned earlier about when to run these, make sure you're running them at the key times of year. Ideally, if you're seeing, if notoriously a certain time of the month or year, you really do struggle with sales, that's when you can leverage your affiliate program to really work, put your foot down and work harder with these affiliates and make sure those down weeks or those down times of the year aren't so bad. Number 3, again, I'm very data driven, so I would track performance and analyze the data to the nth degree in terms of identifying which publishers are the most incremental for you. If one of your key performance indicators is driving new customers, you need to give it a quarter, and then you can filter out the publishers which are driving the highest new customer percentage, and those are the ones that you really want to work with, because that is your main KPI. If some, you know, some programs, all they want is clicks. Sorry, not all they want, but one of their main performance indicators is clicks. They want to really drive as much traffic to their website as possible, which is absolutely fine. So you can then analyze which affiliates are driving the most clicks and then work more with them. Yeah, it's all very relative to your program, but make sure you are analyzing that data, and it's all available for you in the AWin interface, which is very user friendly and easy to use. Building those relationships, again, this is very key. We've all had it where an email pops up in our inbox, you recognize a name, you know them, you might be very friendly with them inside and outside of work, and it's just kind of that, you know, you're more inclined to sometimes just click on that and kind of give that more, you know, more of your attention. So building those relationships is subtly very beneficial to the longer term partnership and success of your affiliate program. And my very final point is keep updated with all the latest affiliate news. So I know that AWin release loads of white papers, which are always very interesting to read. There's always loads of articles on kind of the performance in websites, etc., and kind of a multitude of companies release articles on industry-related topics on all of the industry websites. So I would definitely make a point of spending sort of some time at least once a month just to read through these and some of these changes, especially some of the technical changes with users having to kind of opt in certain cookies as well. So you really are going to have to kind of keep your finger on a pulse in terms of making sure that this isn't going to have detrimental effects on your program, but it should all be available for you from the AWin website as well. They release some great articles. And that is everything for me. So I'm hoping that gave you a really nice insight into the best way to work with discount publishers. I also touched on kind of content and cashback in there as well. And again, I think kind of, you know, the final sentence from me would very much be brave, make sure you test with different affiliates, different offers and kind of different commercials as well. Then once you find out what works for you, tweak it, and then kind of really start to build out that mature affiliate program that delivers a really strong ROI that we all kind of strive for. My details are on here. I'm more than happy to kind of send the slides over, but feel free to reach out to me on that email address, and I'm more than happy to kind of have a call with you or answer any questions that you may have. But thanks for your time, and I hope you all have a lovely week.